How does a family's dream of sharing their daily life turn into a nightmare? When does the line between public entertainment and private life blur? And what happens when the very platform that brought fame becomes the stage for controversy? Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be diving into the most degenerate family channel on YouTube, the Frank family. Ruby and Kevin Frank, a vibrant couple rooted in their faith as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, aka Mormons, embarked on a digital journey in January of 2015, with 6 children: Cherie, Chad, Abby, Julie, Russell, and Eve. Each bringing their unique personalities to the screen, the Frank household was a bustling hub of laughter, challenges, and life lessons. But why share their life with the world? For Ruby, the motivation was clear: capture the fleeting moments of parenthood. She wanted to be, quote, present and to cherish memories of her children as they were in that very moment. More than that, she hoped to offer a glimpse to other mothers of what the journey of raising a family looked like. The highs, the lows, and all the moments in between. The vlogs were a tapestry of their daily adventures, from school runs to vacations, from candid conversations about faith to the challenges of parenting. They weren't just creating content, they were documenting their legacy, their beliefs, and the values they hoped to instill in their children. Slowly, the channel began to gain traction. Viewers from across the globe tuned in, drawn by the family's authenticity and the warmth that radiated from their videos. By August of 2017, 8 Passengers had amassed a community of 1 million subscribers. They weren't just viewers, they felt like extended family members, celebrating the Franks' milestones and offering support during challenging times. However, with the spotlight shining brightly on them, the Frank family was about to discover that fame, especially on the internet, came with its own set of challenges. The summer of 2020 marked a turning point for the Frank family. A seemingly innocent beanbag would become the symbol of controversy for the family. This innocuous piece of furniture, often associated with relaxation and comfort, was about to become an emblem of growing divide between their public persona and private decisions. The summer of 2020 saw Chad, the Frank's teenage son, revealing in a vlog that he had been relegated to sleeping on a beanbag after playing pranks on his younger brother. This revelation was not met with the usual camaraderie and lightheartedness that characterized many of their previous videos. Instead, it started a wave of concern and criticism.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October. And they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think this is the reason. At least this is the reason that's been in my head. It's pretty funny, but now that I look back, I mean, it's pretty depressing.
No, we never told our viewers.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack. And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in a suitcase. And then he walked out the door and I'm like, Russell, and he's like, what? And he's all happy. Has his sunglasses on.
Some viewers began to question the parenting choices showcased on the channel. Was making a teenager sleep on a beanbag for months an appropriate punishment? Or was it an extreme measure that bordered on cruelty? The online community was divided. While some defended the Franks, asserting that parents have the right to discipline their children as they see fit, others saw it as a red flag, indicative of a more authoritarian parenting style. As the debate raged on, investigative YouTube channels began to dig deeper into the 8 Passengers video archives. They unearthed moments that in isolation might have seemed inconsequential, but when pieced together, painted a concerning picture. In one particularly contentious episode, viewers were shocked by an incident involving Ruby and her youngest daughter, Eve. The vlog day started like any other, with the usual morning hustle and bustle. However, later in the video, it was revealed that young Eve had forgotten to pack her lunch for school. A small oversight, many would think, especially for a child of just 6 years. Yet Ruby's response to this was not what many expected.
Just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often when you're raising children, because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, and it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with a lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. And hopefully hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
Instead of making a quick trip to school to provide her daughter with a meal, Ruby decided to let Eve go without lunch for the day. Her reasoning? To teach her daughter a lesson about responsibility and the consequences of forgetfulness. To many viewers, this was not just a parenting decision. It was a moment that raised questions about the boundaries of discipline. Was it fair to let a young child go hungry even if it was to teach her a lesson? Was the punishment proportionate to the oversight? But it didn't stop there. In another clip, we can see Ruby on the phone with her son Russell, who apparently forgot his lunch as well. On the phone, Ruby explains that she won't bring him any food, and that he should try and find a friend that's willing to share something to eat with him.
Sorry to tell you this, honey, but unless you find a friend who's willing to share some of their food with you, I don't think you're going to be able to eat. But if you're not responsible for your lunch and your lunch money, that's the natural consequence. And I'm really sorry you're learning this the hard way. I will have a wonderful, yummy snack. Just hang in there today and just make up your mind. You're going to be really careful and make sure you grab your stuff when you go to school next time. And maybe you have a good friend who will share some of their sandwich with you or something. Russell, I'm really sorry. He sounded like he was going to cry.
Many felt that Ruby's decision was overly harsh, especially for children as young as Eve and Russell. They argued that children, especially at that tender age, are bound to forget things, and that it's the parents' duty to guide and support them, not let them suffer. The scrutiny didn't stop there. A Change.org petition began to circulate, calling for Child Protective Services to intervene. It garnered thousands of signatures, with many of the signatories expressing their concern about the children's well-being. The narrative around 8 passengers was shifting. No longer were they just a family sharing their daily life. They were now at the center of a heated debate about parenting in the digital age. Investigative YouTube channels, always on the hunt for the next big story, began to look through older 8 passengers' content. They highlighted moments that, in their view, raised red flags about the Frank's parenting style. Clips were taken, discussions were had, and the narrative began to shift. The once beloved family was now being portrayed by some as overly authoritarian, with a parenting style that bordered on the punitive. The Franks, for their part, tried to address the growing concerns. They spoke about giving their children choices and teaching them about the consequences of their actions. They emphasized context, suggesting that short clips from their vlogs didn't provide the full picture of their family dynamics. But the internet's tide is hard to turn. With every new video, the scrutiny intensified, and the family's once loyal fan base began to fracture. As the whispers and criticisms grew louder, Ruby Frank sought a new beginning, a fresh venture that she hoped would bring solace and understanding. In June 2022, she announced her collaboration with Jody Hildebrandt on a new YouTube channel called Connexions. Hildebrandt, a therapist whose license had been put in probation, was a controversial figure herself, known for her unorthodox views and teachings. This partnership, however, would only serve to fan the flames of the controversy even further. Connexions, a mental health life coaching company, was built on principles that many found troubling. The organization prioritized 3 principles of truth: honesty, responsibility, and humility over the overall well-being and safety of children. According to Connexions, any child not exhibiting these traits was, quote, living in distortion. This philosophy, broadcasted to the world through their videos, garnered significant backlash. Viewers and experts alike expressed concerns over the potential harm these teachings could inflict, particularly on the vulnerable, impressionable minds. The videos posted on the now deleted @MumsOfTruth Instagram page, where Ruby and Jody provided relationship and parenting advice, further deepened the public's concern. In one such video, the duo suggested that children did not deserve privacy or unconditional love, views that many deemed harmful and damaging. The mounting criticisms, however, did little to deter Ruby and Jody, who continued to propagate their beliefs, seemingly unfazed by the growing discontent. The Frank family began to fragment. The eldest daughter, Cherie, publicly severed ties with her immediate family, expressing her disapproval of the extreme beliefs propagated by Connexions. Her statements echoed the sentiments of many, highlighting the deep divisions that the controversial group had sown within the family. The whereabouts of the other Frank children became a matter of public speculation, their futures shrouded in uncertainty. Kevin Frank's absence added another layer of mystery to the unfolding drama. Once an active participant in the family's vlogging journey, his sudden disappearance from the public eye raised questions and concerns. The The lack of clarity regarding his involvement with Connexions and his stance on the allegations facing his family left many puzzled, yearning for answers in the convoluted saga. The controversies surrounding Connexions and the Frank family's association with it painted a grim picture. Everything would change when the viewers' concerns became a reality, when Ruby Frank and Jody Hildebrand were charged for 6 counts of felony child abuse by the Washington County Attorney in Utah. The day Ruby Frank and Jody Hildebrand were arrested marked a heartbreaking climax. The whispers and concerns that had been growing online suddenly turned into a loud outcry of shock and disbelief. Their arrest on child abuse charges sent ripples of alarm through the community, revealing a dark reality behind the scenes. The lead up to the arrest was as alarming as the arrest itself. A concerned neighbor's call unveiled a horrifying situation. A 12-year-old boy, frailed and bound with duct tape, had sought help pleading for food and water. This boy, Ruby's youngest son, had managed to escape the dire situation, his physical state showing clear signs of neglect and abuse. The discovery of Ruby's youngest daughter in a similar state added to the grim picture, highlighting the severity of their plight. The community's reaction was a mix of shock, anger, and sadness. The arrest broke the illusion that had surrounded the Frank family, exposing the harsh truth hidden beneath. The incident promoted a wave of responses from various quarters, as people voiced their emotions and thoughts. Ruby's sister, Ellie Metcham, Julie DeRue, and Bonnie Holine, who had been worried about Ruby's association with Jody and Connexions, finally spoke up. In a joint Instagram statement, they expressed their relief at the arrest, underlying the importance of the children's safety. Their message echoed the feelings of many, reflecting the collective relief that the children were now safe. The wider YouTube community also shared their thoughts on the events. Many expressed their shock and sadness at the unexpected turn of events, disappointed by the downfall of a family that had once been the source of joy for many. Others voiced their anger and frustration, pointing out the warning signs that had been visible for a long time. Ruby and Jody's arrest marked a sad chapter in the Frank family's story, a harsh reminder of the hidden realities behind a seemingly perfect family image. As the community dealt with these revelations, the focus turned to the children's welfare. Amidst the chaos, the hope for their healing, recovery, and justice emerged as a guiding light. The path ahead, though filled with challenges, offered a chance for a fresh start, an opportunity for the children to find peace, love, and care. In the latest news, the estranged husband, Kevin Frank, emerges from the background, his figure painted with tones of confusion and concern. As Kevin Frank stands on the precipice of a shattered family, his attorney voices Kevin's stance, a delicate balance between defending his position and navigating the tumultuous waters of public opinion. The separation from Ruby, enforced for over a year, had distanced him from the daily lives of his children. The walls of separation built by Ruby and her business associate Jody Hildebrand obscured the view, leaving Kevin in the dark abyss of ignorance regarding his children's plight. Accusations that rained down upon Ruby and Jody found no purchase on Kevin's visage. His attorney stands as a bulwark, proclaiming Kevin's innocence in the face of the storm. Cherie Frank, the eldest of the Frank children, expressed her relief and the long-standing effort to bring attention to the situation. On her social media, she posted, quote, "finally," unquote, signifying the end of a painful chapter and the beginning of justice. She highlighted the family's continuous attempts to alert authorities over the years, expressing gratitude for the safety of the children and requesting praise and respect for their privacy during these trying times. As the legal proceedings advance and search for truth persists, the Frank family saga stands as a stark and somber reminder of the intricate and often hidden realities that lie behind public personas showcased on social media. The path ahead remains fraught with challenges as the quest for justice continues, and the healing process for the children an arduous journey, overshadowed by the scars of their alleged ordeal.